score 40-36. While Judge Barbara Perez has it 39-37. All for the winner by unanimous decision, the crown jewel.
You know it's AB, always balling, always boarding, a lot of bills. You know what's going on, man. You know, shout out to Crown Jewels Boxing, man. You know, my people. You know, they get it in over there, straight up.
Lamar Peterson giving a shout out to CrownJewelBoxing.com.
What's good, y'all? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing. Back to drop a gem. I'm a little heavy-hearted before I talk to y'all tonight. I was saddened with the news early this morning that a long-time legendary referee that I've known since I was a little boy, Double S Steve Smoger, has passed on. I was given the news about a good friend of mine probably about 2 weeks ago that he really wasn't doing well, and I can't say that I'm surprised. I was kind of prepared to expect it nonetheless, but yeah, it's a guy I've known since I was a little boy, when boxing was really big here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I'm from right outside of Atlantic City, so I spent a lot of time, at the casino shows growing up. I've seen him in the Pleasantville Rec Center where I boxed at as a kid. I used to see him in Atlantic City Pal, and like I said, in the various casinos and ballrooms where he was reffing fights in the early to late 80s, throughout the 90s, and even all the way up into, not too long ago. So I have share, some stories I have about Mr. Smoger after we give him a ceremonial 10 count. Ref in peace, champ, and as you told all of us throughout your career, you're fair but you're firm. Funny story. Well, I'll start off just how I met him. When I first got to know Mr. Smoger, it was through my grandfather, who was a boxing manager when I was a kid. And Mr. Smoger was not only a boxing referee, but he was our local municipal judge. And it came full circle when a couple times, but when my grandfather passed away in 2016, he kind of told me, he was really thankful for my grandfather because as a young attorney, my grandfather gave him a chance to become municipal court judge in Pleasantville, because at that time my grandfather was the council president, and he really appreciated and respected that. So that that was something he wanted to relate to me upon the passing of my grandfather. Beyond that, funny story about Mr. Smoger. Couple funny stories. He reffed an exhibition I did with a gym mate, sparring partner, Ethan Mays, I boxed with as an amateur years ago, and we had a benefit for some youth sports organizations here in Pleasantville, and we put on a bunch of exhibitions. Former NABF USBA light middleweight champion Kevin Watts was in one of the exhibitions, and myself and Ethan Mays did an exhibition. He came in the dressing room when I was getting my hands wrapped before the exhibition, and he had all kind of jokes because I used to have really bad vision and I was wearing glasses in the dressing room, so he had all kind of jokes about people thinking I was soft because I wore glasses, but I take my glasses off and handle my business. So yeah, he was a laid back, pretty funny guy like that. But my best memory of Mr. Smoger. The first day I received my driver's license, my father had rented me a car to take the driver's test in, and after taking the test, I got my license. I'm driving around in the car. I go pick my cousin up from football practice, and less than 10 minutes after I pick my cousin up from football practice, I run into the back of one of my high school teachers, Mr. Norris, and one of my cousin's football coaches. So I get a careless driving charge, and I got to go to court. And like I said, our local municipal court judge at that time was Steve Smoger. So I'm scared to death. You know, it's my first time in court. My father takes me to court, and you know how open court goes. You know, they just call people up one by one, case by case, and you sit there till your name is called. So I sat there probably through 75% of the cases. And Mr. Smoger, and I don't know why I didn't pick up on it, because I know he knew exactly who I was. But he said to me, young man, I'm sitting in the back, and points at me. I said, yes. He said, what's your name? So I told him my name. He said, I don't have your name on my docket. So I pull out, I didn't catch that he was taking care of me. So I pull out my court notice, and I go to show it to him like, nah, Mr. Smoger, you know, this paper right here tell me I'm supposed to be here today. So he looks at me real, you know, and in a firm voice, he said, I said, young man, you're not on my docket today, and you can have a nice day. So my dad kind of nudged me at that point, and we turned around and walked out. I mean, I always laughed at that for years. Like, I almost blew it. Like, he was taking care of me, you know what I mean, because he knew me through boxing and through my grandfather. And he was taking care of me and, you know, kind of let me skate on that careless driving charge and not, you know, charging me any fines or give me any points on my license, anything like that. But I didn't catch it. You know what I mean? I was so green. I was only 17 years old. I was so green and naive. I didn't catch the fact that he was looking out for me. So Double S, I appreciate that, even though I almost blew it. I appreciate you doing me a solid on that one. And the boxing world lost a great one. You know what I mean? Definitely one of the legendary referees, especially one of the you know, the biggest referees to come out of South Jersey. He was a Margate resident. You know, he was a municipal court judge in Margate as well as Pleasantville, and he'll be sorrowfully missed. Besides that, and watching YouTube today, I was a little shocked to see a lot of y'all got after me when I said I was talking about Terence Crawford's BLK Prime numbers, and y'all didn't think, you know, I was justified in what I was saying, or I verified what I was saying. Well, we've heard that Blueblood from Blueblood Sports TV was a partner in that show and a partner at BLK Prime. Well, he made a video today, and he came out and admitted that in a proposed showdown between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, Errol Spence is the definite A-side. His words, not mine. He's the definite A-side. Nobody can deny that. He does the pay-per-view sales. He's the A-side. I'm not going to say a whole lot. That tells y'all all y'all need to know about how much that card sold. Somebody involved. I don't know that Terence Crawford would like that Blue said that. But somebody who's supposedly a partner in BLK Prime and played a role in putting that card together and having Terence Crawford participate in it has already admitted that in order for Terence Crawford to fight Errol Spence, he'd have to be the B-side based on numbers. Although he came back and said later he don't know what the numbers are, which I find that odd, because if you're a partner in BLK Prime, how could you not know the numbers? And I know a lot of y'all say, well, when Mayweather and them have pay-per-views, they don't know the numbers right away. That's different. Cable pay-per-views, which are being sold on several different networks in several different regions and several different countries, it may take time to gather that info. That's not the case. BLK Prime is an app, a centralized app. If they don't know how many pay-per-views they sold from their app, or if maybe his role in BLK Prime isn't quite what he says it is, because if he's a partner there, how can you not know what your app sold? It's not like you're dealing with multiple different people. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's not cable where you're dealing with a bunch of different companies. It's an app. The administrators and owners of that app, how can you not know what you sold? So, like, once again, he came out and all but admitted, you know, it didn't do too well, because if it did as well as some of you want to insist, then he wouldn't be willing to admit that Errol Spence is the definite A-side if that fight was to come to fruition. And he literally said he's the A-side because he does the pay-per-view numbers, which implies Terence Crawford doesn't do big pay-per-view numbers, or at least not as big as Errol Spence. That's all I got for y'all tonight. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, and your ass off the floor. Peace.